Welcome back to my channel. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I am myself trying out a new foundation, and I decided to go ahead and finish my makeup and go ahead and pop a tutorial kind of first impression, more of a first impression. Let's see what we can do with this. I haven't really played with this. I've swatched a couple of these. This is the Too Faced that Life is a Festival, Peace, Love, and Unicorns. This is it here. Look at how, I mean, that's like, I want to be 12 again. It's got some pretty cool colors. I'm not really a swatcher, but you can check them out. Let's dig in and try it. I am using the Morphe Jaclyn Hill set. I'm still trying that out. So I'm going to start off with my R37 and just kind of check these out and kind of see what I want to do. This is too pink and this is too tan for me. So I think what I'm going to do is pop into this. I'm just going to pop into both. I always make sure when I mix a color like this on my brush that I start over here and then I'll put a little bit over here just so I can get that same, because once you dip in it again, you're never going to get the same color. That's why I hate mixing colors, but there we go. I'm just kind of using that as a transition shade. Now, if you guys have been watching me, you know what I make my transition shade is more the kind of the backdrop and the kind of lay down for where my eye socket should be. I just tap back into both of them. See, I got a different color. And every time I do that, oh, I dipped in the wrong color. Turn it. Every time you do that, you just kind of remember how many times you went back and forth. I ended with pink here. Last time I ended with the tan color. There we go. Now I'm just going to kind of wipe. I'm going to kind of get everything off the brush. Make sure there's no product left on the brush. And I'm just going to kind of blend that in. Just kind of really set that in there. I'm setting my eyelids with that because I used the Tatcha silk canvas on my eyelids. I've been using that on my whole face. I'm actually using it as my final step of my skincare, and I'm loving it. My lighting is not all that great, and if you guys notice, this eye is way more hooded than this one. So I always have to, if you notice, this eye is a lot darker. The reason for that is the base color, the very first color, the transition color I use, I always go a little darker on this eye, and the main reason is to open it up a little more to match this one. All right, I'm going to go right into, that was Desert Vibes and Young and Free kind of mixed together. I'm going to go straight into just Desert Vibes now, and I'm going to go into my actual, this is the actual natural crease where I'm laying that in and just kind of blowing it up a little bit. And what I'm doing is deepening that area. Same thing on the other side. I just kind of bring my eyelid up for this one, just so I can kind of deepen the natural socket. And when I deepen that natural socket, I like to get product on one side of the brush. And that side that has the product, see how one side does, one side, the side that has the product, I like to put it here and then make sure that side is up. And I'm getting the underside, see the underside of that hood. See how that just really pops and really gives it that kind of glow in there and really opens it up. You can really see it when I tilt my head back a little bit, how I really do that. It's so hard to deal with drastically hooded eyes. If you guys have them, you know, you know how I feel. Okay. I am going to the doctor today, so I'm not going super crazy with this look, but I kind of want to show off a few of these colors. I'm grabbing, this is the M506. It's a little tighter, kind of longer brush. And let me see what route I want to do. I think I'm going to come into, I'm tossing between Rainbow Light and this. I think I'm going to go into this Rainbow Light. This now has a lot of shimmer to it, so I'm going to lay that down here on the outer corner of that lid and just kind of see what I'm going to get out of that. The thing about these colors, they're very, I would say translucent, but you see how I'm patting that in? I'm dabbing into the color. I'm just barely tapping it off just to tap the excess, and I'm really just tapping that in. I'm going to kind of do a spotlight eye. I'm going to do that on the outer corner and the inner corner. The inner corner I tend to do about half the size of that outer corner, and that's because I really want to lay that center right where my pupil lands. See that? Just get that on both sides. You don't want to really worry about blending or anything right now. Right now you're just trying to get the intensity of that color up without getting a super amount of fallout. Just patting that in. Same thing, build up that color over there. Come on the inside and do the exact same thing. You really want to pay attention and make sure you're getting that right in the center. You're going to pay attention to where your iris, pupil iris. Your iris is the colored part. Your pupil is the center. So your iris, you want your iris, the whole colored part, to sit right in the center of those two. And I'm going to take that and I'm just going to kind of blend that out at the very top. I'm going to kind of come in there. And I'm going to come on the back side of it and just kind of blend that, connect the two back there. All right. I am going to come in with a clean brush. I'm just going to grab this one. This is a M573. And just kind of blend that out up there. Just because I don't want it to be super, super heavy. I'm going to just tap that into that same color. That is Rainbow Life. And I'm just going to I want to kind of pat that in. There we go. And kind of work that up a little bit. Just kind of doing a little circle. I don't want to go super heavy because this is a metallic shadow. And I don't really like to do a lot of metallics in the crease. But I do want to bring that color up a little bit. That kind of peachy, pinky, orangey kind of color. I want to bring that up. Just kind of open that. There we go. Give a nice base for that. I'm going to go ahead and use my color switch and clean that off. Keep that brush nice and clean because I'm going to use this to blend behind all my other colors. All right, now we're going to I'm going to clean that first brush off and I'm going to come into this one. Let's try Mystic Rain and see what I get. Let me see what this is. This is a duochrome kind of color. I'm going to use my finger and I'm just going to pop that right in that center. Oh, that is pretty. This is one of those colors, though, depending on which light you look in, it's very duochrome. I'll pop that in the center of the other one, too. The reason why I'm using my finger is it's not... I tried it with the brush and it's not really... Nothing's showing up, really, when I do that. I mean, I could probably intensify this color a little bit. Not really. It's looking much better on my finger. There we go. Now I'm going to go and clean that brush off again, and I'm going to go back into Rainbow Life because I've lost a little bit of intensity out here and on the inner, just a little bit. Just going to pat that back in. There we go. Apparently one of my other brushes lost a hair and it stuck to this one when I went into my color switch. There we go. I'm just going to pat that intensity back in. There we go. It's kind of a light color. I thought about using this one here, but that one's too white. I like that little duochrome littleness to that. I really need to keep a white here. This is really pretty too. If you want to kind of go a yellow route, you could pop that one in there. That gives you kind of that yellow. Actually, I'm going to just on the very edge. Just the very edge, the very bottom center, I'm going to pop that yellow. That is Beamin' right there. That just gives you kind of a glowy, pretty look for the day. I'm going to go back in with the what was this? The M573, the one we kind of cleaned off that we were using. And I'm just going to kind of blend that back up here. Just kind of blend those off. Kind of blend that edge out a little bit. I don't really go over this too much. I just kind of pat that. What I like to do is kind of pat it very lightly with this just to make sure I've got any that's going to fall out. I'm going to grab my powder brush Just make sure if I got any fallout that I go ahead and get that off. Well, I did. I've got a little bit of glitter under my eye. Craziness. Going back in one more time with this color, or not, excuse me, this brush here. This is the E47 brush. That's that real funky flat brush. I do have a little bit of powder from doing my face on it, and I'm just going to use that to kind of crisp that corner up again. There we go. Now, as far as the, I think I'm gonna, trying to think what color would look good. What do you think about a blue with this? It might be a little too loud. Maybe a little purple. No, I'm just gonna go in with kind of a brown color. This is Hustle by 24/7 liner by Urban Decay, and that's just kind of a brown. It's kind of a brown metallic-y kind of color, and I'm going to pop this into that waterline. Staying real close to my lash line. I like this color because it really just, if you kind of work it that way, see how it's kind of just laying in the lash line there and giving you a little iridescent-y kind of pop in the waterline. This color is great for that. I'm really concentrating that on the edge in that lash line. Just to kind of outline that eye a little bit. You can kind of come in here and tightline a little bit with that. I'm not going super ham with it. I'm just doing the outer corner just to kind of crisp that up. Now I'm going to need another brush. I'm still trying out this brush set, so it's new to me. I really like, and if you guys have watched my eye tutorials, I always use a brush like this. This is the M213. That's a little teeny flat brush. That is like that e.l.f. brush. They just call it a crease brush. And I'm going to come in right here into Unicorn Tears. That's that white color. And I'm going to pop that right there into the corner just to give me a little bit of a highlight there. And I'm going to pop that just a little bit under that brow line. Into that brow bone. I'm coming real close. If you watch how I do this, I like to use a real iridescent color there. And a lot of people say with hooded eyes not to. Do what you want. I am going to intensify that a little. I think I'm going to grab this and pop this in there just because that yellow is like not giving me that real pop that I want. So I'm popping this right over all that. Just kind of centering that right there in the front. There we go. Just to give me a nice crisp pop of color. I'm going to take this same little brush. And the reason why I do the white first is because I'm going to go in the bottom with the darker color. I'm going to come into with Fantasy. That's that purpley color. And I'm going to come right along this bottom lash line. Keeping that nice and tight. And just giving a little pop of color under there. Really just concentrating on the lash line. Keeping it kind of close. And then once I've got the color down, you can see I kind of flip the brush. I concentrate the color on one side of the brush, and I like to keep the other side kind of plain so I can come in there and really just kind of smoke that out. There we go. You can also do a little kind of mock wing. You can also go in with some dark eyeliner. I'm not going to ruin this nice, pretty, young look with a dark wing. I'm going to just pop this on there and give myself that nice little purple wing to it. Just a kind of bright, pretty color for the day. My thoughts on this palette: it is pretty. It's very glittery. It's very useful. It is a palette that may be a little intimidating for some of you guys, because I know some of you don't like super bright colors. You know, and just kind of trying some. This is kind of out of the wing house for a lot of people, but it is. I stayed really close. You can really blow this out and bring these colors up where it'll kind of, open that eye even more. There, let me kind of lift it. There you go. But it's daytime. I'm going to the doctor, so I just kept it really tight in there and just kind of gave a nice little flash of color on the lid and a nice little highlight up in the top. But it is kind of chalky. I will tell you, as I was going into some of the colors, let me just go into this Desert Vibes here. I mean, it's really typical in Too Faced shadows. It is a little patchy. It is, I mean, you got to work it in. You're going to get a little patchy. It does have, I mean, the color payoff is great. That it's with a brush on my hand. I mean, but it is one of those colors. It depends on which light you look at it. It disappears. It seems like all of the colors in this palette are kind of that way. But if you're looking for a very youthful kind of pretty look that, you know, no matter, it depends which way, like, see, you look here, you don't really see, I turn this way, see, it changes which way you move your head, but I think it's a very pretty color, very youthful. I like it. Thanks for watching, guys. Try out the palette for yourself and see how you like it, and let me know below. Thanks. Love you guys. Bye.